right, thank you everybody for being here. This is a great time. Welcome. This is the Emergency Medical Services Award Ceremony. So we're going to take a second to recognize some of our clinicians that have provided outstanding care on some very critical calls, memorable calls. We're also going to recognize some hospital staff that are here with us and some patients and family. It's really awesome to be able to stand up here and do this. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the work that all of you do. I know this is a small, very small snapshot of what we do. We run roughly 300 calls a day. So the 6 calls we're going to present today are just a tiny fraction of that. But we want to recognize the work you're doing. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Fire Chief Corey Smedley to say his part.
Good morning, everybody. All right. This is truly exceptional that we take time out to recognize our survivors in the community, our community stakeholders, and the great men and women that do this every day to save lives and property. This cycle of the awards, EMS awards, we have over the 3 shifts, 19 scenarios that will be talked about and celebrated. What I can tell you is 100% of the time out of those 19 incidents, we were never on the scene when the emergency occurred. 100% of the time during these 19 incidents, we were not on the scene when the emergency occurred. Somebody had to notify us, which you did. 19% of these calls, 16% of these calls, someone was on the scene that knew what to do. Our goal through Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Service is to increase that percentage of our community. When a call comes, they know what to do to help save lives. We in our organization are doing something very courageous as we look at what we're doing to respond to the community needs. I use that 100% of the time that we weren't there because that's the normal thing that happens in our business. Someone notifies us and then we have to come. Seconds, minutes do count, and we can't be everywhere, but we can help our community be educated, be trained, and help themselves, along with us, make them resilient. So your department is going to do more to help train our community on life-saving measures so that 16% number increases, that we can have people across our county able to help each other before we get there. I just want to say thank you for all that you do every day, and God bless you.
Will the following clinician please come forward? Firefighter paramedic Brian Gamerick. And we also have with us today some Shady Grove representatives. If you would like to come forward, we'd greatly appreciate that. On the morning of Thursday, October 24th, 2024, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Medic 713 was dispatched to a residence in Gaithersburg for a report of a pregnant patient experiencing contractions. Upon arrival, the crew found a female patient in active labor with abdominal pain. The patient reported she was pregnant with twins and scheduled for a cesarean section the following week due to one of the twins being in breech position. A rapid on-scene assessment showed no signs of crowning and contractions were occurring every 2 minutes. Given the circumstances, the crew initiated emergent transport to Shady Grove Medical Center. While en route, the patient experienced a spontaneous rupture of membranes. Her contractions quickly intensified and began occurring every 30 seconds. Upon reassessment, the crew observed a footling breech presentation. With each contraction, more of the baby's leg emerged. Firefighter paramedic Gamerick guided the patient through pushing and with calm precision assisted in delivering the baby's legs, hips, and torso, maintaining control and support throughout the process. As the EMS unit arrived at Shady Grove Medical Center, the patient delivered the baby's head with a final push. Firefighter paramedic Gamerick suctioned the baby's airway, provided stimulation, and wrapped the baby in a blanket for warmth. The infant had an initial APGAR score of 8. Medical staff, including emergency department personnel and an OB physician, met the EMS team at the ambulance and helped transition to care, preparing both the mother and newborn for transfer to the labor and delivery unit. 16 minutes later, the second twin was delivered without complications. Thanks to the quick thinking, skilled care, and teamwork of the MCFRS crew, alongside the expert support of Shady Grove Medical Center staff, both the mother and her newborn twins were discharged home after a short stay in the NICU. Unfortunately, the patient and the mother could not be here today. One of them got sick, but they definitely expressed their gratitude for all the care they received through Montgomery County Fire and Rescue and Shady Grove.
Would the following please step forward? Firefighter Eilerman, Firefighter Ridgely, Captain Hall, Master Firefighter Paramedic Hendricks, Firefighter Vandermeer, Lieutenant Power, Master Firefighter Scholl, Firefighter Fritz, Firefighter Paramedic Hubler, Captain Junior, Lieutenant Paramedic Grant, Master Firefighter Ashley, Firefighter Muskella, Captain Paramedic Brown, and staff from Shady Grove Medical Center. On the morning of Friday, December 20th, 2024, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue crews from stations 4, 25, and 40 were dispatched to a gym in Olney for a report of a patient experiencing seizures. While units were en route, the incident was upgraded to a cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, the crew from ambulance 740 located the patient on the floor of a spin classroom, where bystander CPR was already in progress. Witnesses report that the patient had been participating in a spin class when she suddenly slumped over on her bike and collapsed, appearing to seize upon hitting the ground. Robin Rubin and Brian Stahl, who witnessed the event, immediately rushed to assist. They laid the patient on her back and checked for a pulse. Initially, a faint pulse and agonal respirations were detected, but the patient soon became pulseless. Robin ran to call for help while Brian began CPR until fire and rescue. On the morning of Friday, December 20th, 2024, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue crews from stations 4, 25, and 40 were dispatched to a gym in Olney for a report of a patient experiencing seizures. While units were en route, the incident was upgraded to a cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, the crew from ambulance 740 located the patient on the floor of a spin classroom, where bystander CPR was already in progress. Witnesses report that the patient had been participating in a spin class when she suddenly slumped over on her bike and collapsed, appearing to seize upon hitting the ground. Robin Rubin and Brian Stahl, who witnessed the event, immediately rushed to assist. They laid the patient on her back and checked for a pulse. Initially, a faint pulse and agonal respirations were detected, but the patient soon became pulseless. Robin ran to call for help while Brian began CPR until fire and rescue personnel arrived. Firefighters Ridgely and Eilerman conducted a rapid assessment and found the patient pulseless and not breathing. They immediately initiated high-performance CPR and applied an AED, delivering 2 defibrillations before advanced life support resources arrived. As additional crews joined the effort, they provided ventilations using a bag valve mask, established intraosseous vascular access, and placed the patient on a cardiac monitor. The initial rhythm was ventricular fibrillation. The patient was shocked again, chest compressions were continued, and both epinephrine and amiodarone were administered. At subsequent pulse checks, the patient remained in ventricular fibrillation, prompting the use of dual sequential defibrillation. At the 4th pulse check, the patient achieved return of spontaneous circulation with a strong radial pulse present. Crews then obtained a 12-lead EKG, monitored vital signs, and initiated norepinephrine. Once administered, the patient was packaged and transported to Shady Grove Medical Center. During transport, EMS personnel continuously monitored the patient's condition and vital signs, performed serial 12-lead EKGs, which were transmitted to the hospital, and consulted with Shady Grove Medical Center. En route, the patient began to breathe spontaneously and exhibited purposeful movements of her extremities. Upon arrival, the care was transferred to the emergency department staff. The patient was stabilized and admitted to the ICU, where conditions steadily improved. She was later transferred to White Oak Medical Center for further treatment. This incident emphasizes the importance of the chain of survival in improving outcomes for sudden cardiac arrest. Thanks to the rapid activation of 911, immediate bystander CPR, the swift and skilled response by first responders, and the exceptional care provided by Shady Grove Medical Center and White Oak Medical Center, the patient was discharged to a rehabilitation facility and eventually returned home neurologically intact on January 10th, 2025. Thank you. Additionally, the patient is present, as well as the everyday heroes, Robin, Ruben, and Brian Stahl. If you could step forward as well, please.
Yeah, I am that person who had the cardiac arrest during spin class on December 20th last year. And it's an honor for me to be here today, alive, breathing, speaking. It's all still a little bit surreal. I'm here to recognize and thank the amazing Montgomery County EMS people who saved my life. And I'm thrilled that Brian is here also giving some recognition today. All of your heroism that day was truly extraordinary. I consider myself incredibly lucky that Brian was in class that day. When I collapsed off of my spin bike, Brian didn't hesitate. He jumped in and immediately started CPR. I know there were other people who jumped in and helped. Many of them are here with me today, and I thank all of you. I credit Brian's strength, knowledge, experience, and incredibly kind heart for keeping my body alive. Even though my heart wasn't beating and I had no oxygen for, 10 minutes before EMS got there. You couldn't restart my heart, but you kept my body going and you kept me ready to live. And then EMS arrived. You saw me and you had to think, she's lifeless, she's blue, she's been down a long time, this doesn't look good. But you didn't hesitate to jump in and help. You didn't give up. I think you shocked me 8 or 9 times before finally getting a faint pulse. And even then you had to look at it and say, this still doesn't look good. But you put some kind of a machine on my chest to keep my heart going and to keep me alive until you got me to Shady Grove. Your skill, your professionalism, your persistence, and your genuine desire to help. That's why I'm alive. I'm guessing you don't always get to hear what happens after you turn somebody over to the hospital, so I wanted to share a little bit. After 9 days in a medically induced coma, 3 weeks in the hospital, and a new defibrillator, I'm doing pretty good. I have no lasting heart damage. I have no cognitive damage, even though I was without oxygen for such a long period of time. And eventually the doctors figured out what happened to me. It looks like some kind of rare valve issue that I should be able to have fixed later this year. And this is unbelievable, but they told me I had less than a 1% chance of surviving. So I am the 1% because of all of you. Hero doesn't even feel like a big enough word to describe all of you. You're heroes to me. You're heroes to everyone here. You're heroes to everyone you've helped. And you're a source of hope and strength for our entire community. And you're an inspiration to others who want to serve our community the way you do every single day. I didn't know any of your names until today, but I have thought about every one of you every single day. There are no words to fully capture the depth of my gratitude and respect and love I feel for every one of you. But I'll say this from the bottom of my now very active beating heart. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, Thank you for giving me another chance of life. Thank you. I know, I had tissues and I was like. I love that time.
I get the opportunity to see a lot of our clinicians on a daily basis. And these award ceremonies remind me every day as to why we come to work. And it's always humbling to meet everyday heroes and patients with that heartfelt letter.
Firefighter Keeney, would you step forward? On the evening of Wednesday, March 26, 2025, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Service crews from Station 15 were dispatched to a residence in Burtonsville for the report of an injured person following a fall. Upon arrival, crews found the patient lying on the floor, accompanied by her family members. The patient reported experiencing a syncopal episode while preparing to go to the hospital. She'd undergone surgery the previous day, and her physician advised for her to report to the hospital for evaluation due to significant postoperative bleeding. According to her husband, he had emptied her surgical drain 5 times that day and estimated that she had lost a total of 500 milliliters of blood. MCFRS personnel noted that the patient appearing pale and was complaining of weakness and dizziness. Initial vital signs showed her to be normotensive. The patient was carefully packaged and moved to the EMS unit for transport to White Oak Medical Center. Once in the ambulance, the patient's condition worsened. She was found to be hypotensive with delayed capillary refill. Recognizing the potential for significant blood loss, the crew requested an EMS duty officer to respond with whole blood. Vascular access was established, and the patient received 2 units of whole blood along with calcium chloride. Her vital signs improved, and her skin color returned to normal. Upon arrival at White Oak Medical Center, care was transferred to a waiting emergency department team. The patient was stabilized and later admitted to the ICU, where her condition continued to improve. The successful use of whole blood in the pre-hospital setting continues to demonstrate a significant reduction in mortality from hemorrhagic shock. By initiating this life-saving treatment pre-hospitally, EMS teams can dramatically improve outcomes for critically sick and injured patients. Thanks to the prompt assessment, skilled care, and teamwork of the MCFRS crews, along with the excellent medical support at White Oak Medical Center, the patient was discharged home on March 29, 2025. Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Service is proud to recognize our personnel for their dedication, professionalism, and teamwork. With the following, please step forward. Firefighter Ciron, Firefighter Shipe, Lieutenant Riddle, Firefighter Isaac, Firefighter Seeley, Firefighter Paramedic Leonard, Lieutenant Hobbs, Master Firefighter Donahue, Firefighter Root, Firefighter Paramedic Sleva, Lieutenant Paramedic Cohen, Everyday Hero Alec Walter, and staff from Shady Grove Medical Center. On the morning of Saturday, April 19, 2025, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Service crews from Station 29 and 34 were dispatched to a Germantown neighborhood for a report of a cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, responders found a patient lying supine near a garbage truck. Witnesses reported that the patient had collapsed while lifting a bag of trash. The incident was observed by a coworker and an off-duty EMT, Alec Walter, who immediately assessed the patient. Mr. Walter determined that the patient had agonal respirations and no palpable pulse. While the coworker called 911, Mr. Walter promptly initiated chest compressions. MCFRS crews arrived quickly and confirmed the patient was pulseless and apneic. High-performance CPR was initiated. The team inserted a nasopharyngeal airway. provided ventilations via bag valve mask, and connected the patient to a cardiac monitor, which revealed a shockable rhythm, ventricular fibrillation. The patient was defibrillated and compressions resumed. In coordination, crews established intraosseous access, administered epinephrine, amiodarone, and lactated ringers. Despite ongoing efforts, the second and third rhythm check continued to show ventricular fibrillation. The patient received additional defibrillations and repeated doses of epinephrine. After approximately 20 minutes of continuous high-performance CPR, the patient achieved return of spontaneous circulation with strong palpable pulses. Crews obtained vital signs and a 12-lead EKG, which revealed sinus tachycardia. Assisted ventilations continued as the patient was stabilized for rapid transport to Shady Grove Medical Center. En route, the patient began opening his eyes and was moving his arms, clear signs of improving neurological status. The crews administered Versed to calm the patient while closely monitoring his condition. Upon arriving at Shady Grove Medical Center, care was transferred to emergency department staff. The patient was intubated and stabilized before being admitted to the intensive care unit. He later underwent cardiac catheterization and was transferred to White Oak Medical Center, where an internal defibrillator was implanted. This case is a powerful example of the chain of survival in action, beginning with early recognition, rapid 911 activation, immediate bystander CPR by Alec Walter, and expert advanced care by MCFRS providers and hospital teams. As a result, the patient was discharged home neurologically intact on April 24, 2025. Montgomery County Fire and Rescue is proud to recognize our personnel, everyday hero, and for professionalism, dedication, and teamwork.
All right, thank you everybody for coming. I hope you can see this is a team effort from the very beginning and our everyday heroes all the way through the end and our awesome hospital staff. It's an honor to stand up here and take time and recognize these calls. This whole event is also a huge team effort, and I want to take a second to recognize some people. Thank you to our chiefs and our leadership. It's great to see everybody here and the support that we get, not only for these small moments that we celebrate, but every day, the support that we get from our leadership. Thank you to Shady Grove and our hospital partners for coming here today for Everyday Heroes, not only for what you did, but for coming today to celebrate with us. Thank you for 1075, our awesome AV crew that takes a lot of time and effort to make sure that this is captured so we can share it with everyone. And I want to thank Megan over here, firefighter Horrell, who spends a lot of hours coordinating with everyone, coordinating with patients, and really making this happen. It's an honor to work with her and to be able to do all of this with her. So thank you everybody for being here. Please feel free to mingle and keep talking to each other. And that'll be it for the day.